Welcome back, everyone. This is Frank Whiskey Charlie Zero Oscar. This is going to be an exciting video because I have a whole bunch of different batteries that can run the QMX transceiver. This is something that I've been doing some research on, and I think I got what I want, but there's so many options, and people from Facebook and YouTube have inspired me to get things that are similar to what they use. And so these might not be the high-end components, but they are well worth you looking into. Now, this is the 12-volt version. It was built as a 12-volt, not a 9-volt. So that's very important. And before we start, the radio is connected to a dummy load, right? This one is an MFJ 261 dry dummy load, 15 watts. So has a VSWR of less than 1.15. Okay, so that's there. This has been calibrated. This has been SSB calibrated as well, the QMX transceiver. It has a nice little mic from GF UFO, which we're going to transmit and see what type of wattage we get. And we'll talk about that depending on the battery that we get and we run in. So that's going to be pretty neat to look at. All right, so we got to make sure we're focused somewhere, hopefully. All right, the first battery I think we're going to look at is going to be this one. Probably one of my favorite batteries so far. This is the Bioeno 9-volt, 3 amp hour battery. 27 watts. This is the BLF 0903W. 6 amp max continuous. Okay, so one thing to note in the video, I'm going to put links to most of the things that I have here. Some of them will be affiliate links and you can support our channel. Okay, so there's different ways to plug this battery in here. One of the great things about Bioeno, they give you 2 plugs. They give you the Anderson power pole, and they gave you this barrel, which I believe it's 5.5 millimeters by 2.1, which is the same as this one. So one way to connect this, you can use one of these couplers, male to male, same thing, 5.5 millimeters by 2.1 millimeters, and then we can slide it in. And so this one becomes a male connection that goes in here. And then you can sort of, none of these are perfect, right? But you can see that you can pack it up like this. Let's turn it on. This battery is not completely full. Pretty neat, huh? So this battery, I'll lower it down. This battery is not completely full. If it was completely full, it would be at 10. And then it starts lowering down, and I think it stabilizes at 9897. Okay. Like I said, I've calibrated the SSB on this. You don't have to when you get it or when you build it. The top, the 2 bars, right? The top bar shows you right now the S, and the that's going to be very low because we have a dummy load right here. And the bottom bar will be the SWR when I transmit. When I transmit, the top bar will be the wattage, and the bottom bar will be the SWR. You'll see that when I press this, sometimes the SWR is a little bit high, but when I speak, it goes back down. Don't know why that happens, but if you know, please tell us. And I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I'm at 14 0.003. We'll just move it over a little bit, right? I can't hear anybody. Nobody's going to be able to hear me. Okay. So, again, we're on a dummy load. Very important. And we have the 9-volt Bioeno. Let's see how this sounds. Is anyone on this frequency? Is anyone on this frequency? Whiskey, Charlie, 0, Oscar. Pretty neat, right? Let's you know, I got one of these receivers, the M-Volt. You can see my unboxing of this. But I'm at 30, aren't I? There we go. Watch. Let's see. Let's do this again. Is anyone on this frequency? Is anyone on this frequency? Whiskey, Charlie, 0, Oscar. Pretty neat, right? You can hear that. So it is transmitting. Well, yes, it's transmitting a little bit. Now, if you notice, the top bar went 10 dots. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey, Charlie, 0, Oscar. CQ, CQ. Again, I'm not sure why the SWR varies. It shouldn't vary. And that's something that maybe somebody can give me an understanding. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey, Charlie, 0, Oscar. Okay, now you saw that it's very hard to see, but there are 10 dots. Each dot represents 0.4 watts when I transmit. So I'm transmitting I said that right? 0.4 watts for one dot. There's 10 dots, that means I'm transmitting at 4 watts. Not bad. Not bad at all. We're going to turn this off. Okay. And I think that beep, no, that beep is somewhere else. I'm going to take this barrel off. And what I'm going to do is, I have an adapter here. This one I got from Bioeno. So we can, it's an adapter, right? And now, you know, it's going to look a bunch of wires. One thing about this radio is we're going to see a bunch of wires. Okay, so same configuration, no, different power configuration, but the same battery. Right, we're going to turn it on just to see how that looks, right? Still 9.7. Oh, how do I know it's 9.7? That's a 9, and then there's 5 dots and 2 makes 7. Whiskey, Charlie, 0, Oscar. CQ, CQ, this is Whiskey, Charlie, 0, Oscar. Not bad. Okay, so that's another way of configuring this. So we're going to turn this off. Okay, and so that's a barrel connection for that. And we could put this, well, let's look. This is the source. Okay. And this will be the load. Let's see what happens. And again, for whatever reason, these meters, the meter, they're kind of weird. You're always twisting these around. Okay. This would be a good way to figure out how much power is being drawn. So, and this is all chewed up. Let's take it off. Okay, after what, 3-4 years? So it says 9.7. Here it says 9.93 volts. I noticed that these numbers are different. It's drawing 0.28 or yeah, 0.28, let's say 0.3, a third of an amp, right? So a third, that's basically 1 amp. And that's per hour, right? So with this battery, I can get 9 hours just by listening. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to transmit. It's in a dummy load, so I'm not sure if that's a difference. If it is a dummy load or not, it shouldn't be. But let's see how many watts. Well, let's see how many amps it draws. Right? It might change. Oh, and this is changing a little bit. Let's see right here. CQ, 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 CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Look at that. It only drew up to like 0.45. Let's whistle. You saw that's 0.7. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. So probably at the peak at 0.45 and whistling. I wasn't whistling too hard. Hopefully I wasn't overdriving it too much. Just 0.7. Okay. I'm sure somebody will tell me something. Okay, let's turn it off. So you get an idea of how much power it's drawing. All right. One of the things about these Anderson power poles, sometimes they get stuck. And some people don't like them. I still like them. Okay. So that's the Bioeno. So far, I think it's kind of like my favorite. But we have a lot more to cover. So that's the first one. The next one is going to be this Droke, which is a DC to DC converter, input from 9 to 36 volts and output to 12 volts. So we're definitely going to check. We're going to hook it up first, and then we're going to check. So this is a much more complicated setup here, but this will give. So this is a Bioeno battery. Let's start from the beginning, right? This is a Bioeno battery, 12 volts, 3 amp hours. This is a lithium iron phosphate. Now, lithium iron phosphates, when you charge them completely, they're around 14.3. When you start, running the system, whatever load, it'll stay at 4.3 for a few, like less than maybe 30 seconds, and it'll start going down and down and down and down and down, to 14.4, 14, 14.0, 13.8, and it'll stay in the 13.2, 13.1 volt. And then when you transmit or something, it'll go down to 12.8, 12.7, 12.6. But the thing is, you cannot connect this to the radio directly. You need a DC to DC converter, even though this says it's a 12 volt. That's one of the disappointing things about this radio, and I'm sure there are fantastic reasons why they wanted this to be 12 volt, maybe because they wanted to run it on these type of batteries, which will demonstrate. Maybe they wanted to run it on a 9 volt, right, to carry less weight, like the one that we were just looking at. I don't know what the reason is, or the components. Maybe larger components are needed to run 13, right, 13.2. It's too bad. It would have been nice, but this is the reality. So this is a 12 volt. It can be much higher. Look, it can be up to 36 volts. All right, so it can be a much higher battery, voltage battery. So this is connected. We have this. Now we have, it comes with, and no, it doesn't come with Anderson power poles, actually. You have to put them on. So I did. Okay. And this is in, which is this one. And then the other one's out, 12 volts. This is what we need. And then I have an adapter. Okay. And a barrel. I'm sure you could put a barrel here. But I don't have the tools for that at the moment. Okay. So I'm going to put this one here. All right. So battery goes into the in. because it's 12 volts, 12 point, actually it's 13.2, and then it's going to come out. Going to come out to be approximately 12. It says 12 here, but we'll see when we read it here. And of course this, you know, I guess you can put it some way, but again, it's just all over the place. Okay. All right, you get a sense of how much you need. Simplicity is something that I think we all want when we want a very portable situation. Okay, let's turn this on. 12 volts, exact. That's crazy, isn't it? That's beautiful. 12 volts, 12 volts. That's, in the documentation, you can go a little bit more than 12 volts, like 12.2, but it's recommended 12, and I'm at 12. Okay, so let's see what happens when I use the microphone. Don't forget, you need a dummy load or an antenna that you're connected. Let's find out. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Well, you can see it went down in voltage, which makes sense. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar looks like 11.9, and here on the top display shows me my wattage. Now check this out. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. So it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 above 4 watts. Now 6. So that's 2.4, right? Let's see. 4, 8, 16, 24. So 2.4 plus another 4 gives you 6 point something watts, which might be overdriving the machine. I don't know, but it's definitely at around 6. So again, on the top right here, it gives you 10 little dots, and then gives you more little dots afterwards. Watch. Look on the top. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Okay. I wasn't blowing that hard. Now let's turn this on. I'm curious. I'm sure it's going to sound louder. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. Is anyone listening? And okay. Let's turn this off. You can hear, you did hear that, didn't you? Okay. No, look at that. I haven't even, not doing anything, and it's 11.9. So it's not super consistent. Let's turn this off. Let's we can do the same thing. This is the source, the power, and this will turn on. And then this is the load. Okay. And you can see it's drawing some power already. Same thing, 0.27, a third of an amp. And then it says 12.28 volts, right? So this is marking 0.28. So there's a difference. There's always seems to be a difference of 0.2. I don't know why, but let's try this. Let's see how much I draw with this type of battery. CQ, 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 CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Okay, I think maybe you saw 0.5 there, but it's grabbing a little more power. That's good. Okay, so let's turn this off. So you can see all of this, you know, wiring. It's going to depend on if you like this wiring or not. These are pretty cool. I got these, I believe, in Amazon. Again, we'll leave you the link. This is a a barrel to power pole, Anderson power pole. And then this one right here. This one apparently can draw 60 watts, 5 amps. So that's a nice little setup. I don't know, maybe a more of a permanent thing in a box or something. That might be interesting to do. Now, something that I was really curious, and I really wanted it to work, but I was a bit disappointed because of the way it's set up. But this right here is like the Drock, but this one is a high let go LM2596 buck converter. You can see all the electronics there, right? And you can barely read it here. It says in, and you get your positive, negative, and then your out. And so in this one, in this case, I have this Bioeno battery, still 12 volt. This one's 6 amp hours. This one still gives me 13.2, 13.1 volts coming out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this to this for that buck converter. And now you can see that it turns on. Like, one of the things I don't like, and I think it has to do a lot with the size of the wire. These are 14 gauge. And then also these are the same things, 5.5 millimeter, 2.1 barrel, this pigtail, because they have, they're soldered at the end, they're just cut. And you can see it says 12 volts. In the video, you can see it there, 12 volts. Now, it doesn't come in 12 volts. And I'm trying to find where my screwdriver is. I don't see it anywhere. It should be around here somewhere. And like I said, this is a mess. But if I find it, we'll use it. It's this one right here. Okay, so this wasn't at 12. So I had to adjust it with, there's the screw right here, and you just adjust it. Now, when I first did it, I had to turn, and I thought, oh, this is broke. But I kept turning. Eventually, the numbers will start moving. I think I did it counterclockwise, depending on the voltage. Here, if you click on this button here, that gives you 13.2, and you see the little light. That's the battery. You click on it again, it gives you the voltage on this side. And then this button, I don't know what this button does. Oh, it turns it off. So if you're annoyed by it, now it turns on. It's a very nice little device, and I've seen people use it. And the only thing I think I'm not liking is this wire, this gauge wire is a little too heavy because it's not flexible. I think I made a mistake. I said this is 14. Maybe the lower the number, the smaller. Maybe not a 14 or a 16, maybe an 18. So I might get an 18. Might be more flexible, a little bit easier, because I can see this coming off right there. These are screws, and I don't want to screw it too tight, but I can see that popping out. Some other people will cover this, with a heat shrink so the screw won't open, which is a good idea. But we're at 12 volts, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in. I know this is kind of out of frame. I'm just gonna put it somewhere around here. There. Just leave it there. Oh, and I went down. See? Very, very inconvenient. I don't want anything to touch the back right there. Let's turn this on. And now you can see it's at 11.9. So it's drawing some power. And here in the reading, it says 11.6. Okay. I guess I could adjust it. I'm not gonna touch that. I mean, I could adjust it a little bit higher to get a little bit more, but I'm not gonna touch it. This type of equipment is sensitive. We shouldn't be doing that. But we're at 11 point. I know it's hard to see. 11.9. Now let's see what happens. CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar, and you can see that with the 11.6, my wattage was easily almost a 6 or a little more. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar, and here you can see that it's drawing a little power. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. Really nice. Really nice. So I'm going to turn this off. Okay, I'm going to take this off the barrel here and turn this off here. Okay. This is probably one of my... I like this because it gives me the voltage. I don't like this wire. I think it needs to be a lesser gauge. And then wrap this up. And it would be nice, probably with this battery pack. You know, and then just wrap it with some type of rubber band or something. Maybe that would be a nice way of doing things. Okay. We got more. We got more battery options. It's incredible that maybe one of the reasons why it's really like 12, it doesn't lock you in on lithium iron phosphates. You can do something like a 9-volt battery. Isn't that crazy? This is what do they call this? A 9-volt connection to a barrel. The barrel, again, 5.5 millimeters by 2.1. Now, can a little battery like this, and this is an alkaline battery, not one of those heavy-duty batteries. Heavy-duty batteries will probably run, but it probably won't last. This is an Amazon battery. I also got some batteries from Harbor Freight, which are alkaline batteries too. These were inexpensive. They were on sale. So are these. Plug it in. Now, will this tiny battery really run this? We'll find out. Now, this is super portable. Look at this. That's beautiful, isn't that? Imagine you have a solar panel, maybe one of those power film, the ones that are, I think they're 10 watts or 5 watts, maybe 5 watts. You somehow find a way to charge this with a solar controller. Maybe not, well, I don't know, but dreaming here. Or some other way to charge this if it's a rechargeable battery, because this is portable. You can't beat this. This is wonderful. It is kind of like my favorite battery, but at 9 volts, it's whoa. I don't know why it was too loud. Let's turn that off again. Try that again. Huh. Weird. And I don't hear the background noise. Okay. Let's go back to this. Let's see what's really going on here. Okay. You can hear it there. All right. Maybe it's a fluke. Let's try this again. It was a fluke, probably. I've noticed that changing power supplies, sometimes the radio does look cutesy things. Hopefully doing this doesn't ruin I don't think it will. But we need to be careful, of course, how much power you're applying, making sure we have a dummy load, right? All these things are important for, your safety and the safety of the radio. But again, this is super cool. I mean, it's very flexible here. There is a video on YouTube. A guy did, he used a 9-volt to make contacts. I'm not sure if it was CW or SSB. But again, let's try this. Now, look at this. The battery has settled down. It was at 9 volts. Now it's at probably 8.8. Again, this says USB. All right, let's try this. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. It looks like it's 4 watts. It looks like all 10 squares are there. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. I think it's working. Now, let's turn this on. Let's see if we can hear ourselves. I'm sure we can. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. I wonder if that's how I really sound. Okay. Okay, not bad, right? Look at that. Now we're down to 8.7. Be interesting to test this. And how many amps this has? It doesn't say. We can always probably look it up somewhere. But we're already at 8.8. Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Did you see that? There was a high-end SWR. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Okay. That was interesting. Let me film it here. So I can put it on Facebook maybe. Again, this is a 9-volt battery and the QMX with a dummy load. CQ, 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 CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Of course it's not going to do it now. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Oh man, the battery now is at 8.5. Wow. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. Okay, I did it there. You saw that it went up. So we got again a 9-volt and the display here. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is a test. This is Whiskey, Charlie, Zero, Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey, Charlie, Zero, Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey, Charlie, Zero, Oscar. One more time. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey, Charlie, Zero, Oscar. CQ, CQ, CQ. Okay. All right. Wow. Calling CQ. Battery now is at 8.4. Sure drained it. Okay, let's turn this off. But in an emergency, probably with CW maybe would be a little bit better. But still, this is amazing. That's crazy. All right, so let's do some more. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 1.5 volt batteries, alkaline. Now 1.5 times 8 is 12. So you would think, hey, this is 12 volts, right? You should be able to connect it. Well, for sure, hold on here. What I did before I put it on the, there's a switch here, by the way. Let's turn it on. Oh, it's been turned. It is on. Okay. So here's my fluke. You won't be able to find a fluke like this. There we are. 12.97 volts. Way too hot. Way too hot. Okay. So that's way too much. So this is not a good that's not a good setup. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend this, but if you want to draw it hot and you think you can do that, then maybe you should, but I wouldn't. Let's turn it off. So that was a disappointment on this one. These are actually from Harbor Freight, by the way. They're on sale. Good sale too. Okay, so this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? You would think it would be 9 volts. Well, let's find out. This one automatically comes in a barrel, okay, which is pretty neat. Okay, so let's pop this here. This is sort of like what this is, but this is way more compact. And then I'm going to turn it on. It gives you 9. Okay, which is crazy. So 9 volts, very compact. You could probably find another version, but again, I'll have affiliate links for a lot of these things. So if there's something that you like, now look, now 9.1. Let's try again. I'm using a dummy load. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey, Charlie, Zero, Oscar. So it gives me 4 watts. You saw I went from 9.1, it looks like, and went down to like 8, 7. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey, Charlie, Zero, Oscar. All right, I'm going to try again. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey, Charlie, Zero, Oscar. Also the SWR, I don't remember each dot what it represents, so it might not be a lot. Definitely probably less than 1. If it goes all the way out, I think it's less than 3. Don't quote me on that. Like 10, 20 dots. I think it's less than even 30 dots. It's probably less. But sometimes you can see it goes very high. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie Zero Oscar. And now we're still at 9. It probably levels off around 8 something. But this is amazing. Look at that. Another type of power supply. This is nice. Very flat. Who knows how long it will last compared to something like this. This is really nice too. Again, it's all wrapped up, ready to go. You can hook it up. Unfortunately, I don't have a, it's too bad. I don't have a, some type of solar controller for 9 volts. See, that's some of the disappointing things. You can have your buddy pole power mini, hook it up to maybe a 10-watt panel from Power Film, and you're a happy clam. You're going to have to probably use the DC buck converter if I can find maybe a better wiring system, or use the whatever this is, the Droke. But this is really nice. So is this. So many options. That is really, really nice. This is very compact. This is really cool. And you can, if these are rechargeable, you can easily recharge it with the sun. There are ways of doing that. Okay, now let's look at, by the way, this is from G7 UFO, this microphone. It took me about a week and a half for it to come from the UK. Nice, lightweight, and I don't know how they put it together. Probably, I don't know. I wonder if that was, I don't know. That would be very interesting to know how did they like printed over that. But it looks nice. All right. So this is from I'll put a link, g7ufo.radio. Now we are going to use the DigiRig. This is the DigiRig short USB USB-C to 12 volt PD cable. So reading up on these cables and reading up on batteries that are considered PD, power delivery. The PD stands for different voltages, and of course and then you can draw a certain amount of amps with that. Anchor, which is a very, very, very familiar company now for these storage batteries, these portable batteries. They instead of PD, they use IQ. This one in particular is Power Core Plus, and this does do 12 volts, I believe. Let's see. Let's make sure again. This one right here. Let me read. Need a spyglass. Output 9 volts, 3 amps, 12 volts, 3 amps, 20 volts, 2.5. It doesn't say here 12. So it probably does 9. Maybe that's why. So reading up on these type of batteries, certain cables will not draw the certain voltage that you want. This one doesn't have a 12 volt circuit, so this is probably why when I hook this up, it's not going to give me 12, because I believe this is specifically made for 12 volts to tell this, hey, draw 12 volts. Okay, so we have a plug here. It says USB PD. And then We're going to hook this up. So this is USB-C. There's a whole type of different battery situation, right? And you press the button. 9 volts. Way bigger. These are readily available almost anywhere. And let's see what happens. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie Zero Oscar. This is a test. CQ, CQ, CQ. And you can see it went to what, 8.8, 8.9. And I was still getting 4 watts. So far, if I have 12 volts, I'm getting more than 4 watts. Between 4 and 5 watts, is that a big difference? It could be. Definitely the more watts you have, the better. But you can see this is running now with this battery. Not too bad. Not too bad. So this one is this particular battery bank. It's a little bit older, probably like maybe 2-3 years old. Now this one surprised me. This gets I can tell that this will get scratched. This one's one of those that you can hook up on your phone. You can barely see that, can you? But it's one of those that you can hook up on the phone. This is 30 watts, 15 volts at 2 amps. But this one has a 12 volt capability. This is a 12 volt cable. So this is a little bit more portable than maybe this guy, the 9 volt. See that? Maybe. Okay. But you're going to have a special cable, or a cable that tells this, draw 12 volts. And so, let's do it. Let's try it. That's pretty neat. Compact. Nothing like the 9 volt battery. Okay. Let's go over here. Let's turn this on. Did the same thing last time, didn't it? Let's try this again. Okay, it adjusted. Right. That's because I'm changing different batteries. Again, it might not be maybe not a good idea, but for the moment it's okay. This is fully charged now. It's not even giving me 12. It's giving me 11.6 or so. Again, look at that. Not bad. A lot of wires like that I don't like. But still compact. Let's try that. Whiskey Charlie Zero Oscar. This is Whiskey Charlie Zero Oscar. It looks like it's going easily above 5 watts with this little battery. Even this battery couldn't do it. Which is the Bioeno 9 volt. And of course you can't use the 12 volt version of the Bioeno. Too much power. So this is not bad. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie Zero Oscar. Again, you saw the SWR go up very briefly. That is not bad. The setup is not too bad. It's pretty lightweight. The antenna, of course, be interesting to know what antenna I would use. But at the moment, this dummy load is perfect. Let's turn this on one more time. I'm curious. A lot of electronics here, isn't it? CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie Zero Oscar. I don't know. It's probably going to be a little hard to tell. That's really neat. It's going to be really hard to tell, but you can hear it a little bit louder. I'm sure it has to do with the wattage. Okay, let's turn this off. Let's take this off. That wasn't a bad, that's pretty neat. That was really nice. Let's bring this 9-volt battery. Let's see if that doesn't make a loud sound. Okay, so we're back to 8.7, 8.6. It probably equalized. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. You can see it only goes to 4. And it'll probably drain the battery. Okay. All right. That was a lot of batteries in demonstration. You have a lot of options. There is another battery that doesn't work, by the way. This one. I forget what this one's called. It's around here somewhere. Here it is. Or maybe over here, 621, I think. Yeah, the Anchor 621. I hoped this would have worked. It might work. The only thing is I don't have a cable. I don't have a 5.5 by 2.1 cable. It should do it, but it doesn't, unfortunately. It doesn't have the capacity to do it, even though it does charge my phone. There was another battery that I also had. It was the Into, I think, 20 amp battery. Some people on Facebook said to use it. I couldn't get it to work for 12 volts and didn't do 9 at all. I don't think anything's wrong with it, but it didn't work out. So you won't see it here. Again, many options. 9-volt battery, AA battery, 9-volt lithium iron phosphate, 13.1 or whatever, 14.3 lithium iron phosphate with a buck converter, DC to DC, or you can get the kind of like the things that you can charge your phone and your laptop and your tablet. This one can do that as well. You can see that voltage-wise on something like this, for whatever reason, was high. 12.9, 12.8. Might be too high for the radio. Okay. And there's a lot of accessories that you can get. Some of these cables, they're really nice, right? Because, you can put these in one place, right? You can hook these up very nicely. You can connect this. If you connect this to the wall, the power, it's going to give a different type of ground, and you're going to hear a different type of, you're going to hear a lot more noise. So I wouldn't recommend it, right? So you can see it's pretty flexible. This could be, somewhere over here, like away, and then you can turn this on. Right. And for whatever reason, hopefully it doesn't stay like that. I'm definitely going to just keep with one battery. I'll report that later. But this one only gives me 4. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey Charlie 0 Oscar. It only goes up to 4 watts. So I'm going to have to really think what I want. Based on my overall needs, it's going to have to be one of these batteries, I think. Maybe, the safe bet is probably using something like this. Because what I can do, I can hook this up to my Buddy Pole Power Mini, and then I would use one of these. Let me see. Yes, I would use this one. I would use one of these. to go here, right? This is to the battery. And then this one, I would have another connection. Too many connections, right? And this one could go there. And this one can go to the Buddy Pole Power Mini. I'll have a 10-watt panel, and that can juice this up, just like my IC705 back in the day. And this is the thing that converts it. And I can probably do that with this buck converter too. But this one's 12 volts. It's stable. It looks like it's not going to go anywhere. But again, so many options, and I don't know. I'm not sure where I want to go. If I want to travel light, I guess I can use this and that super light. I would need this type of antenna just doesn't work. This is a kind of like a wannabe MFJ. I've tried these antennas and they're just not that great. You need you'll need radials probably. So I've kind of tested it, and I just don't like it. There has to be something much better and reliable, but I haven't found it yet. Of course, you can have a dipole, maybe putting one of those banana type connections, and then doing just a regular dipole and see how that works. I am going to use this in the car and activate a POTA site and see how that works. All right, that's a lot of information. I'm going to try very hard to put as many links as possible. Some of them will be affiliated. It'd be awesome if you can support me that way. If you have any questions, please put them on the comment section. I hope this was informative. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe. We're reaching 10,000 subscribers, and I do appreciate everybody who supported this channel. I hope to hear from you in the air. This is Whiskey Charlie Zero Oscar, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.